So go ahead and start off with any kind of questions you have or anything that you'd like to chat about, and I'll help you break it down and see what we can do to help.
Okay, sure. So, actually, what happened is that my husband got sick, and he was admitted to the hospital. So I'm mostly behind on schedule about 3 days, and I was wondering if I could split the 3 days work over the next week to catch up on being late.
Sure.
Like if I work 8 hours or 9 hours per day instead of 6 or 7, would I be able to catch up within a week or two?
All right, let me just write that out. So behind on study schedule for 3 days. Can I split the study tasks that I missed over the next 1 to 2 weeks? What exactly tasks are you behind on, just so that anybody that's rewatching this recording will be able to kind of get caught up to speed as well?
It's actually Pathoma. Let me just bring out the screenshot because I have it.
Sure.
So it's actually, yeah. So it's actually Pathoma, gastro, GI and endocrine, Sketchy, gastro and endocrine, and APM path, gastro and derm.
Sure. So behind on schedule for about 3 days. Can I split the study tasks that I missed over the next 1 to 2 weeks? Absolutely. So if we're thinking about, on average, you're doing about 8 hours a day right now of studying, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just do some mental math here. Actually, even better, let me pull up a chart that way that you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So if we go and we look at this, let's find GI, for example. So for Pathoma for GI, you have a 20-minute video, a 15-minute video, a 20, a 25. So right there, that's all of chapter 10, and basically less than an hour and a half.
Oh,
And
so
then,
that's it. Okay.
yeah, and then you have like some of this endocrine type stuff with the pancreas and the liver. Looking at chapter 11 here, that's essentially another hour. So for all that Pathoma, essentially in 2.5 hours, you could knock that out. So I think it's totally reasonable to, I mean, basically be able to get through that. So that's the Pathoma, GI, and endocrine. The Sketchy, let me see if I can pull that up here. All right, so for the Sketchy, your GI and endocrine, so you have a 19-minute video, 23-minute video, and then a 17-minute video. And then with your endocrines, you have 30, 24, 22, 18, 19, 21, 19, 18. So basically we have 1 hour there, another 2 hours, about 3 hours, and about 4 hours. So about 4 hours there will get you caught up to speed with the Sketchy. And then for the action potential lectures, so GI and endocrine here is 3 hours. So let's say if you do an extra 2 hours over the next 4 to 5 days, you should be caught up. And if you do it, even if you watch the videos on 1.5 speed, you can do it in even less. So long story short, I say all that to say that you can definitely get caught up. No problem at all.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Good question. I'll just say distribute the days like this, adding on to your other tasks for the day. So what I would do is day 1, Pathoma GI, day 2, Pathoma endocrine. Actually, we'll do Pathoma GI and endocrine on the same day because it's not very long. Say day 2, Sketchy GI, day 3, Sketchy endocrine, day 4, APM half GI, and then day 5, APM half derm. So that's how I'd split it up. In 5 days, you should be caught back up.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, good question. All right. Who else has a question? What can I do for you?
Hi.
Hey, what's up? Good to see you on the live the other day.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Cool. It was kind of a unique one. It was not my usual style, but kind of had a inkling that I wanted to do some like community service type of live, and we got to speak to over 100 and some students from Ghana, so that was really cool.
It was really nice.
Well, awesome. What can I do for you today?
So I had several questions.
Sure. Fire away.
First one, so I'm applying for general surgery residency this year. There's the ACS conference in Chicago, and I was wondering, is it worth it to even go because it's after applications are submitted?
What's the date of it this year?
I believe it's October 4th to 6th.
October 4th through 6th. Definitely. And so some programs will not have even looked at your application yet at that point. So some programs will not have even looked at your application by October. And so you can meet PDs, APDs, and residents that can vouch for you and put in a good word so you are more familiar during their interview season. And so that doesn't mean that necessarily you'll 100% secure an interview from this event. Obviously, there's no way to say, but at the end of the day, I know that a lot of the people that go to ACS go with that intention and end up meeting people and making connections that have been helpful in past years. I hear every single year from residents, they're like, oh yeah, I met so-and-so on the, like prior to the interview trail at ACS or VAM or any of the other big conferences. And so it's definitely worth it if you can swing the trip over there. The thing that you have to know going to this is that you're going with a purpose. And so if you go there and then immediately go to your hotel as soon as it's done, you don't try and meet friends, you don't try and shake any hands, it's going to be a waste of your time and it's not going to help you. But if you go there with the objective of, all right, I want to try and meet as many people, get as many contact informations, emails, phone numbers as possible. That way you can stay in touch with them, shoot them emails, shoot them reminders like, hey, it was so nice meeting you at ACS. I'm looking to apply to your program. I was wondering if there's any recommendations you have for me or any people on the academic staff that I should reach out to. Those type of questions, those will be how that you can essentially leverage the in-person meeting. So that is something that obviously you can't do via Zoom or virtually. Especially because all these specialties, the old school program directors and associate program directors, they're going to want to kind of do things the old fashioned way of meeting in person and shaking hands and stuff like that.
Right. So this is going to sound silly, but like, you know how they have it separate, like the separate medical student program from the actual conference? So the medical student aspect has been like completely booked up. Would you still be able to have that networking opportunity if you're not in that specific program for the conference?
I don't see why not. What do you mean it's like completely booked up, like it's full, there's no more spots? Or
Yeah, there's a wait list and everything. It's like I don't know if like those things are intertwined or if it's like a separate part of the conference. I was just not sure how this works.
I have to see. Let me go to the ACS website real quick and see what their setup is. I see the educational program. Because honestly, as long as you're allowed to attend the full-blown program and be able to go to like any of the meet and greets or any of the event, then it's totally worth it. If it's going to be like you're sequestered only to a section of medical students and you can't go to the actual like resident and attending level program, then obviously that's not worth it. So you'll have to see like on the itinerary what the different options are. Obviously the medical student section seems like it would be useful in terms of advice and recommendations, but I mean, you're really going there for the networking at this point. Like if they give you some kind of a like suture workshop or anything like that, like what are you going to learn in one day anyways at a conference? You know what I mean? Like it's not like you're going to really gain appreciable skills. So really, as long as you're able to network and get in the mix of it, I would say that it's still useful.